I honestly think if he wasn't there, I might have ended up in Spanish jail.
Episode 76, Undrafted Amateur.
Back at it. In Prague.
In Prague. Just a couple amateurs living in a professional's world. Can't even say professional, that's how amateur. Talking about sports, entertainment.
Yeah, well, we've been introduced to a lot of different languages recently, so I don't blame you for not being
Yeah, so now I no longer know English, and I haven't learned it.
It's just because you're so smart and you're just thinking in all the different languages.
I think we've talked about it, though. I would love to have this. That would be cool. That would be an awesome power to have.
Would you rather have the superpower of being able to pick up any language or be able to talk to any animal, Eliza Thornberry style? You would. You would.
Ooh.
Tough.
I think I might go languages, actually. I think
Yeah?
it'd be so fun to have, like, be in a room where people are talking about you and don't know that you can listen and then randomly pop in the conversation. That would be sick.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
But animals would be cool, too.
I think I would go animals.
You're a big animal guy.
Love animals. Love nature.
Animals. Love nature's neat.
And you could get animals to tell you stuff about
Right.
a lot of stuff. You could ask animals all kind of stuff.
The question is, could animals understand? You know what I mean? Because if so,
could they understand you? Or could they
or
understand
like other people. Yeah. So it's like, hey, can you go spy on this person for me?
Yeah. I mean, they could at least tell you what they're doing.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if they
But
could
if they
understand
could
language.
understand it, that would be a game.
What you need to do is get a parrot that can talk back and you just be like, hey, parrot, go like spy on this person and then repeat everything they say to me. So even if they don't understand it, they'll know it and then they'll be able to bring it back to you. I don't know how we got on that, but all the languages.
Yeah. Amateurs living in a pro's world.
Amateurs.
Had some amateur moments for sure.
Yeah. That also has to do slightly with language. So, wow, look at that. Segued right into it.
Look at us, bro.
We'll just go ahead and start talking about it. Big amateur moment. The drone is no longer in my possession. So, I had a drone for 36 days, and it was a great 36 days.
Felt like an eternity.
Felt like forever. I felt like I was a drone captain, and it's a sad loss. It's we'll just dive right into the story. So, we're in Barcelona. Great city, by the way, right by the water. Really active city. A lot of cool stuff around. There's this big church there that's been being built since the 1880s, I think, and it's still under construction. It's called the Sagrada Familia. It's really tall. It's like 550 feet tall, I think, or the tallest like spires on it. So it's pretty huge. It's got really beautiful. It's got sculptures all around the outside of it, but it's kind of like on the bottom, it's a little walled off because they're doing construction on it still. Anyway, the last day we were in Barcelona, I wanted to go fly the drone and get some footage of the city. And I've never flown a drone in the city before. Like, you can do it. The DJI map, which is like the drone company, shows that you can do it. And it had pictures of around this area. And I was like, yeah, well, I'll go fly here right before we go. So Joe stays back at the place. Why did you stay back at the place? You just didn't want to join?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was a little sketched out about flying it in the city, but then also I was just trying to pack. I was stretching my back out. I was hurting a little bit. So I was like, you know what? You go do this. We'll come back. Because we had a flight in like 2 hours afterwards.
It was like 3 hours.
3 hours. Yeah, because we were going to go for like an hour and go to the FC Barcelona stadium, right?
Yeah, we were going to check out Camp Nou. And partially it might have been because it was the morning and it was a little sleepy boy sometimes.
I don't like nuts. Not anytime.
Not that big of a morning guy.
I need a lot of caffeine before I'm a human anymore.
Anyway, I ended up going on a solo mission to do this, and I find this little park right by the big Familia, right by the big church, and start flying the drone up, and I'm circling around the church, and I've flown in way sketchier spots before, like across over like a mountain, like into a valley, like where the signal should get messed up. Anyway, I'm flying around, and I see a bird swoop in front of the drone, and I'm like, oh, no. And I stopped for a second, and I was going to try to come back around and land it because birds can knock down drones. They like think they're other birds. They get a little sketched out by them. And then all of a sudden, I lost signal immediately. Signal's not there anymore. So the drone is supposed to return to its home point that it updates before you fly. And so I was like, I'll just wait here and see if it comes back. It should. Waited for like 5 minutes. Nothing. It's not coming back. So I'm like, oh no. There's like luckily a GPS tracker on the drone, on the little controller you use for the drone. So I was like, I'll just follow this and see where it landed. I go follow it. It's telling me that it's right on the other side of the fence that they're doing construction on for this church.
Which like kind of took up most of the whole block. So it was like the church and then the fence is like.
Right. It's a big block, and I was like, great, it landed. The bird probably hit it, and it either crashed or just like did an emergency landing like right beside it. And I was like, let me go talk to a security guard. I think, they might be able to let me in or they might be able to go look for it for me. So the first guy I talked to doesn't speak much English at all. He speaks pretty much only Spanish. And I like kind of get through to him, like what's going on. And he calls another guy to come over, and this dude's super cool. He's like, oh yeah, let me go check for you. Let me go look. So he gives a look, doesn't see it, and he comes back. He's like, hey, I don't see it right now. And then at that time, there was another drone in the sky, and he was like, ooh, is that yours? Like, you should go look over there for that. And so I go over there. I'm like, maybe it's just hovering. Wasn't my drone, unfortunately. Whatever. When I come back, I see 2 police officers rolling up. And I kind of thought like, I wonder if they're like, if that other guy that didn't speak very good English called the police on me. And then they walked right past me, and I was like, okay, maybe not. And so I hang out for another minute, and I go over to where it is on the fence, and I'm like looking under the fence to try to see if I can see where it landed. And then the police officers like sprint over to me and start yelling at me in Spanish. And I'm like, whoa. And they're like, no drono, prohibito drono. Like, no, you can't fly here. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, lo siento. And I don't know too many words in Spanish to where I can apologize.
You know, at least I'm sorry, which is good.
I know how to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But then it got aggressive. They were like, you could be arrested for this. You can, this is a big deal. Like, what if somebody flew a drone into your Empire? No, I think they might have said plane. What if somebody flew a drone into your Empire State Building? And I was like, whoa, this went from me landing a drone into like an accidental spot to potentially going to Spanish jail, which would have been wild.
Because I'm chilling back at the Airbnb. Yeah. I'd packed stuff up, and you called me when you thought the bird knocked it down. It was going down.
Yeah.
And we were at that point probably about to leave if we were going to the stadium to check it out. Yeah. We were probably going to leave in like 10, 15 minutes. So I don't hear from you. I'm like, do I go back? I think I like texted you. And then you give me a call. You're like, and at this point, it's like we already should have left. But like, it's fine. We just won't go to the stadium. We'll go straight to the airport. And you're like, well, so because you told me you were going to talk to the security guard. You're like, I've been talking to him. Police are here. There's like a 50-50 chance I'm going to Spanish jail. You might want to come over here now.
Yeah. They walked me back over to the original security guard. And I honestly think if that dude that spoke, like the security guard that spoke good English, shout out to Antonio for probably saving
seemed like
me
a bro.
Too. Yeah, he was super cool. But I honestly think if he wasn't there, I might have ended up in Spanish jail. The 2 policemen just didn't seem like they really knew what to do in this scenario. They just seemed like mad about it that I was flying a drone. Like he was like, you can't fly a drone here. And I was like, oh, let me show you this app that shows you where you can legally fly it. And I pulled up the map, and it's fine to fly it there. And he whipped out his phone, and it was just a map of Spain. Yeah,
and all of it was red.
All of it was red. And he was like, this is where you can't fly it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just a map of Spain. And I know you can fly it here. Like, it's not illegal in Spain to fly a drone. Anyway, it became this big thing where I'm like kind of getting processed. They're taking my information, and we're just hanging for like an hour probably.
Yeah, and like not sure exactly what to do because we have the flight. It's looking like it's getting dicey of whether we'll make it. Yeah. And so we're like trying to bring it up, but also not trying to push anything in the situation because we like obviously don't want to make it worse. And so there's like the other security guard, and I'm like, well, so do you think that I should try to get another flight like here? And he just looks at me. He's like, I don't know. You don't know, say.
And I even mentioned to the police officer a couple times, I was like, hey, not trying to be pushy here, but do you think I'm going to jail? Because if I need to cancel my flight, just let me know. Like, I can. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, I guess it would be a big deal for me to go to jail. But
Spanish.
like,
no, it's no big deal.
I tried to play it off. I was like, hey, sir, like, I'm very sorry. Like, if, I understand, whatever. Anyway, our flight leaves at 12:30, and final, I think, boarding was listed at noon.
Right.
And by the time this all gets kind of sorted out, turns out I didn't end up going to Spanish jail. Shout out Antonio. Thank you for, whatever you did to not get me in trouble. Also, when we were staying there, I was asking him, he's a security guard at that church. I was like, do you see drones like often? And he was like, oh, all the time. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was about to say that a minute ago because when they were like, we don't know what to do with drones, which you're right. Like they had no clue what was really happening. Like I don't want to say they didn't know what to do with you in this situation. And you look up, and it's like, there's another drone up there. You ask Antonio, and he was like, all the time.
It happens all the time. And, of course, I had to lose it in the spot, like the one spot in the entire city that I just don't have access to. Like, if it would have fallen down on a street, in a park, even, like, on top of a normal building, it probably would have been fine. But, anyway, ended up getting out of that. But it created a new problem. By the time we get done with talking to them, it's 10:45.
Yeah, and we saw your bag isn't
I haven't packed yet, of course. All these stories just end up with me not having packed yet. But the airport's 30 minutes away.
Yeah. I still, like, the sea urchins are bad, so I can't. Or the sea urchin spines? What are they called? Spines in my feet were so rough. So I'm, like, hobbling along. And you're like, why don't you go pack the bag for me? So then I start, like, hobbling away.
Yeah, this is like 10, 15 minutes before I get finished with the police.
Yeah. Well, probably 5-10, but still, it was like a substantial amount of time because I round the corner and then I see you coming in because you ran back, and I'm like,
we like tied at the apartment.
I was like, oh. So then get in there, call a cab, wait for the cab, eventually get there.
By the time that we get the bag packed and call a cab, it's already 11.
Yeah, and
boarding ends at noon, and it's a 30-minute drive. We had to wait on the cab.
We didn't get in the cab until I think 11:15.
Maybe.
It was about 11:15 because we got to the airport. I think it was like right around 15 minutes before the doors closed.
Yeah.
And they have like a whole separate line if you're running late. We're like, must start.
we're like, very late.
We're like, more late.
Yeah.
Running through. And then they showed them our boarding pass, and they like let us cut through a side line and pop out right at the beginning of security, walk through, run through the airport. So like Toe's screaming because at this point I'm running on it. We catch up, we get there, and then the boarding doesn't even start till like 12:15.
Yeah. So we ended up being totally fine. But it was awesome because we got through security in like 2 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, it was
seriously
by far,
2
maybe
minutes.
even less. Like we flew through
and then we sprinted, and it just felt like, oh, we're really going to just barely make this. And then we get, and there's a big line, and they haven't even started boarding yet.
It felt like anticlimactic there. Like it felt like we were racing the clock, and we get there and like, worried. And then we realized because it did say the doors closed.
Right. Like there's a very good chance that we shouldn't have made that flight.
And as someone who had already missed flights on this trip, I was sketched out by that.
Yeah.
But then actually not as much for this one because I was just like, probably going to miss it, but there's a flight an hour later.
Right.
It was lower stakes than Delta. Shout out. Anyway.
So we ended up getting out of that whole deal pretty unscathed. We did lose the drone, but I put in a claim with DJI, and they're going to give me another one at 50% off because they think that it's partially like a manufacturer error.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fun stuff in Barcelona.
And then
we love the city.
Yeah, it was awesome. The city was awesome. And then we went to Mallorca and then got a drone there. I was like, okay, fine. Because I was on the fence before you got the drone originally. And then when we didn't have one, I was like, I wanted one for Mallorca. So drove all around. That was an adventure. But we'll have a vlog coming out for all of Mallorca stuff. But we kind of not disappointed. We've been kind of disconnected from sports. Yeah. I say, we got to mention the College World Series, though, right now is happening. Braves, it seems like, are just sucking, which is a bummer. But South Carolina lost. That was a bummer until Florida beat Clemson.
Yeah, that did save it for sure. Florida was very they shouldn't have probably made the College World Series this year with the way their season went. They're hot right now.
And those are the teams that are, I don't know, watch out for those teams.
Yeah. They could definitely win it. Yeah.
You get hot at the right time, and that's kind of all that matters.
They had a rough year, almost didn't make the postseason. And now
could win it all.
Yeah, once you're in it.
I mean, now it's you were saying, yeah, it's 4 ACC and 4 SEC teams. You've got Tennessee, Kentucky, A&M, and Florida from the SEC, and North Carolina, Florida State, NC State, and Virginia. That's kind of an interesting breakdown.
Dude, the ACC and the SEC matchup is that's huge. But the SEC is so, like, as of late, has owned college baseball. They got 4 titles in a row, 5 of the last 6, and 9 of the last 14 College World Series titles. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Competitive conference. And we're adding Texas and Oklahoma. Only
Good
getting better
conference.
from
I'm
here.
kind of bummed, though, like, just looking at the game for the College World Series. And, like, I'm just such a bad sport on my team. And I think they shouldn't have lost.
What do you mean?
Like, that we lost in the regionals, and we're like, oh, that was stupid. Like, we should still be in this, even though we probably shouldn't still be in it. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't even care about the rest of the College World
dude,
Series.
I love College World Series.
I wish I would. But you know what I mean? Like, when I think that we have a chance and then we blow it, I just get grouchy.
I don't know how much of a chance we ever really had.
Oh,
we just didn't have enough pitching.
Hitting
was solid.
Yeah, pitching would have cost us sooner or later, for sure. But anyway, that's about all I have for sports right now.
Yeah, we're pretty disconnected. The Celtics are up 2-0 on the Mavs. The last time a team went up 2-0 in the finals was when somebody went up on the Bucks.
No idea.
Milwaukee Bucks. Can't remember who they were playing. They were playing the Phoenix Suns. That was the last time a team went up 2-0, and then the Bucks ended up winning it all. So watch out for the Mavs making a comeback. Kyrie and Luka, they're gonna get at least they're gonna get theirs.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Make it a good series at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like all I got pretty much for sports. I guess so. Like Mallorca, we mentioned we went there, so we were in Barcelona for a couple of days, then Mallorca, which is just kind of like off into the Mediterranean, a little bit south of Barcelona, but north of Valencia, I believe. Great place. We won't get into too much because we have a vlog coming out probably 3 or 4 weeks of that. That's the whole trip. We had a van. It was awesome. The only bummer from the trip, I feel like it was awesome, except for one day the Mediterranean just got like super windy and rough. And we were hoping to go cliff jumping at this cool place, which is honestly I think is a blessing because I would have jumped and I don't know if my back was up to par. And so maybe it was a blessing in disguise, but that's like the only hiccup I really felt.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer because that was our biggest day plan. Like we had a kayak trip planned into some sea caves. We were going to go cliff jumping. It was going to be sweet. In the days before, the Mediterranean was just super calm, looked like a lake. And then I wake up to go on a run that day, and I go by the water, and I'm like, it's not happening, man. Like there's waves out here. So we ended up flipping on that day, and we did a little bit of surfing. It wasn't the best surfing we've ever had, but got to check off surfing in the Mediterranean Sea, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So take that.
But yeah, it was awesome there. And then now we're in Prague. So we've gotten in the last like week and a half, Barcelona, Mallorca, Prague, gotten gems in each one. How would you rate the gem difference between? Oh, we'll add Madrid. So that we went to some gems in Madrid, or just one, I guess. There, Barcelona. We'll even throw. I guess it's different. We worked out at the school in Senegal, which was cool.
Yeah, that was
cool. And then Mallorca, and then here.
European gyms are about what you would probably think they would be. So Spain, and we worked out in Lisbon too. Did we not?
No, we didn't.
Did we work out in Portugal at all?
No, we were, right?
So only Spain.
Just Spain.
Only Spain. Every Spanish gym we went into, there were like strong looking people in there, but everybody's doing lower weight. Like nobody's doing heavy weight in any of the gyms. Like if you go up to somebody benching, nobody's doing more than 135, which is a pretty like set base point for most people that are lifting like heavier in American gym.
Or like I think I saw
heavier,
one or two people do like probably like 150 range, but still.
If you're trying to lift like for weight, like that's a pretty, you don't ever really see people go under that in American gyms, but we didn't see people go over it in Spanish gyms. On the flip side, we came here to Prague, and like you think Czech Republic, you think a little bit bigger, stronger people, and that's the case. Like it was like very comparable to going to American gym.
Yeah.
But it was just weird to see Spanish gyms where it was very much more like high rep, low
People
weight.
looked like shredded.
Yeah, they're shredded.
And
They
it wasn't like they were
big.
doing way more reps either. Like
Yeah,
it was
I guess
kind of
not.
the same rep range you would expect, but just more weight, which was interesting.
Yeah. Which I think just plays into exactly what you would think about when it comes to like sports in like Spain. Very, very technical, like very skilled, but maybe not like the biggest, fastest, strongest.
Yeah, probably fair.
They're pretty fast, but they're not big and strong for the most part that you would think of.
Aren't there's some of like the world's strongest men? Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Ever been one?
I can think of, man.
No,
maybe.
I don't know.
Spain isn't known for like their big, strong.
Czechia,
I don't think.
However,
Yeah.
more so.
Yeah, this whole area, Eastern Europe, is typically more thought of like powerlifting and things like that. So
Honestly, though, the gym layouts themselves. One in Barcelona, fake brick, dark with like some orange light. Things gets you like in the zone. The one here, both of them have been like several floors. I mean, maybe that's more common in big cities. I don't know. It was fun. I liked it.
yeah, cool.
I don't know. What else do you have? I don't want to get into too much detail since we have the vlogs coming out because I want you guys to go watch that. See what I did there?
I do see what you mean. Yeah, I see exactly.
Shameless plug.
I will say in Prague right now, Prague is beautiful.
That's
It's a city that was pretty much untouched during World War II, which is not the case for a lot of cities around here. So there's a lot of like cool history stuff. And this is where Pilsner originated. So we had some nice crisp Pilsners last night, which was awesome. Went to like a little local Pilsner spot where you just sit down and they only serve one beer. It's just the same Pilsner over and over.
Yeah.
But you sit down and they just bring you some. And then once they see you're done, they just bring you some more. And they don't stop unless you tell them to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was really cool.
They were like, we would stop and they'd be like, "You're done?
That's it?
We're like, yeah.
You're not thirsty?
Yeah, you can have water.
Yeah. No, I don't think that exists here. I think the tap is straight Pilsner in Prague.
Think so. You turn on the faucet and brush your teeth. Pilsner.
Yeah.
You at the gym, you thirsty? The water fountain? Pilsner.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's time for Iceman to inspire us.
Let's hear it.
What's up, everybody? This week's Unsung Hero goes out to Abby Lampy. Abby Lampy is a graduate of NC State University in Raleigh, North Carolina. But it's what she's doing over the pond that's getting her a little more notice this year. You see, recently, Abby went over and entered into one of the world's greatest unsung heroes, which is the Cooper's Hill cheese rolling competition. You may have heard of it. You may have seen it. People go to Gloucestershire, England, which is just a little bit west of London, and they go to the top of this thing called Cooper's Hill. And it's about a 200-meter long hill. And what they do then is they throw their bodies and just roll down this really steep hill as fast as they can, chasing a wheel of cheese. Yep, every year people gather and do this, and they've been doing it since 1826. Well, Abby Lampy has now entered into a prestige level of victory, which is that she's now a two-time winner. And you know what? I can't help with July 4th getting closer and closer. Just think, it's always nice to win one over the Brits. Here's to you, Abby, reclaiming things for America and being this week's Unsung Hero.
Prestige worldwide.
Worldwide.
Wide. First word in entertainment. First word. Wow, that is impressive. Did you see the video of her doing that?
No, I didn't.
Dude, I don't know how they normally do it. I've seen other videos and it looks like people just fall. She runs and just like starts, I think, front flipping on purpose down the hill.
That's awesome.
So like, I think most of the time people try to sprint as long as they can and then just eat it. But she just immediately just starts tucking and rolling and she's just tumbling. Have you ever seen any of those before?
It's
Any
been
of the
a while,
videos?
but I've seen like some of them back in the day.
Wolfpack, dude. Wolfpack are winning.
I know,
right
that's what I'm
now.
saying there.
Go Pack, man.
Good season in basketball in the College World Series, showing up the Brits.
And yeah, they won the cheese roll international championship. That's pretty big time.
That was a solid Iceman. I appreciate that trade.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
appreciate that.
That's what we needed right now.
Yeah, and it's across the pond, which is huge because we
Yeah.
are also across the pond. So
That's
unfortunately, this is the last day of our trip together.
Yeah, because I'm leaving way too early tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that doesn't even count as a day.
Don't even count as a day. You're going to Scotland tomorrow.
I'm going to Scotland tomorrow. My grandmother's from Scotland, so I'm going to her hometown, and I'm meeting up with my great uncle, who I've talked to on the phone before but never met in person. Still lives over there, which I'm excited about. That'll be sweet. And then after that, going to Ireland for like 12 days. So I'll have to talk a little bit about that. I don't know that I'll be on. I don't know when I'm going to be on the podcast.
I think I need to confirm this. I had talked about having Christian on again next week. So shout out Christian. Hope you're on. If not, I'll figure something out for the next couple of weeks. And then we back together. So then we were like, what should we do for a draft for the last one? And so we decided,
obviously,
Lord of the Rings Fight Night squads.
Fight night. LOTR Fight night.
LOTR Fight Night. You get first pick. I get second and third.
Got to kick it off with Gandalf. No other than Gandalf. I think that's who I have to go with.
And just to clarify, which one?
We're doing only one Gandalf, right?
I don't know. Are we? I get okay. You get dude. Gandalf the White. Whatever. Fine.
Gandalf
you get
the White. I think Gandalf the Gray is like off limits.
Now, I guess.
What do you think? We'll decide right now. If you want to do Gandalf,
no, there's only one Gandalf.
Okay.
That's fine. Whatever. It's a good pick. I think that's the right number one pick. Then I'm gonna go. Aragorn 2. Give me the king, and then Legolas at number. I guess I should say Aragorn 1. Then Legolas 2. In a fight night, watch that man slide down in the two towers, slide down the stairs on a shield shooting arrows, or slide down an elephant's tusk.
Yeah,
I mean, legendary. So give me those two. Those are some personal favorites
for sure. Legolas. I almost wanted to take Legolas number 1 just because I think he's sick.
Style points. It's up
right.
There. Yeah.
But if I were you, I would have probably taken his fighting buddy, who he's just like unbeatable with. Give me Gimli, dude. Yeah. And Gimli beat him in the contest,
with
right?
With the most kills.
The most kills?
Does he? I don't remember. I think so.
So
yeah, but Aragorn's classic. You got the king.
Yeah, I mean that's a great pick. Third pick, give me Boromir.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
I like him.
Okay, so I got to think of matchup now. Right now I've got Legolas on Gimli, Boromir and Aragorn matching up.
Yep.
All right, if I'm thinking about matchups, let's see. I've got to go. I need someone for Gandalf.
Yeah.
So I got to go Saruman here. I know he's dicey. He's a bad dude sometimes, but I need a wizard. So I've got to go Saruman. And then give me Treebeard.
Ooh,
give me the Ent. Wrecking havoc.
I thought about Treebeard. I'm going to need to look at your list here because you boys trying to go off the dome, and it's been a minute since I've watched these. All right. Oh, I only get 2 more picks.
Yeah, I only get 1 more.
Jeez, dude. This is tough.
You gonna go Gollum and get Smeagol in there?
No. Absolutely.
You gonna get any of the hobbits?
I don't know.
You don't think Smeagol would be a nightmare wrecking havoc in a fight night?
Nah, dude. Smeagol couldn't even take on I'm blanking.
Sam?
He couldn't take on either of them.
Yeah, but think about when he like hops on him and he's like trying to bite his finger off and all, and he's just like climbing around. Imagine he starts doing that, and then you get like Gimli coming in with the axe on someone.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a nasty 1-2 punch. Anyway, you just got to pick one. You're over. This was your idea, by the way. Draft.
It was, and then I didn't know we were actually doing it, and I wanted a little more prep time for it. Give me the Witch King.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
And then I'm taking the giant eagle, whatever the eagle's name is.
Giant eagle. All right.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. That's a solid pick.
That's what I'm taking. I'm not taking any hobbits. I just don't think in a fight night a hobbit is going to do very much. Sorry. In the whole adventure, I think they're important, but a fight night, I don't think as much.
All right. I've got to go. There's 2 that I'm torn between right now. I think I've got to go. Yeah, I'm going to go Eowyn.
All right.
Because best part of the whole movie, when no man can kill me, and she takes off her helmet and she's like, I'm not a man, and then kills him. I mean, that's iconic. So
This one's for the ladies.
for the ladies, she's total killer there.
Yeah.
I was torn between that and Elrond. Both of them.
I thought about
pretty nasty.
Elrond. But I'm just thinking about the Witch King mixed with the eagle. I really need to know the eagle's name.
Yeah, I know. You should know. I don't know the eagle's name either.
But I did the eagle to match up with Treebeard.
But I mean, yeah, I like Treebeard in that. But like, you have Gandalf the White who ends up beating Saruman. But it's a good fight. Like, that's why I needed the wizard to be able to like kind of combat them. I like Aragorn way over Boromir. Although Boromir is a great character. Agreed.
I think Gimli and Legolas is a toss-up.
I think that's a great fight there. So then
Treebeard versus the eagle.
I'm taking Treebeard, and then
Maybe.
Eowyn versus, who's your last one?
Witch
King. That's the one that she won because she said, I'm no man.
Now, let's see what y'all think. Who do you think wins this?
Let us know. Peace.
Peace.